You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ALMOSTPRO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ALMOSTPRO, ALMOSTPRO, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Yay Networks.
All right, all. Welcome back to the Almost Pro USC Football Podcast. Quite excited. Keep it rolling. We have some amazing guests today.
Yes, we do.
We got some star power. Building off of Sweetie last week.
Oh yeah, what a great guest.
Some Trojans.
Yeah.
We got Zack Bia. We got O'Shea Jackson Jr. Extremely excited.
What up?
And coming up later on the podcast, we've got Tahj Washington and Kyron Hudson on. We'll get into the games and past and future.
And whatnot.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
But let's jump into it. This is an exciting moment. First of all, thank you guys for both being on. This is both audio and visual, just so you guys know. So make sure y'all, I saw Zack doing his hair, so proud of you. Didn't tell you it was visual, but you're still doing your hair. I like that.
There's no
Always
mirror or
ready.
anything. I don't know.
I check one right there.
No, it's all good.
But
Go straight to it.
But no, we want to thank you guys because this is a big thing. This is something that Tommy Group put together to really give back and get everyone, all the players involved and going. So it means a lot, you guys coming on. So I think O'Shea, kind of start with you. Want to get your background on and your background growing up with SC, kind of all the above.
Anybody who born and raised Los Angeles, USC and that other school are brought up quite a bit. And, we've been a USC household, and it was a time in my life around 17 where, of course, I didn't know what I wanted to do as far as a career or like what college to go to. I knew I wanted to stay home, so that automatically puts SC on the map. But then I had a teacher kind of notice that I was a daydreamer in class, and he put a notebook in front of me and he said, whatever you're thinking about, write it down because you're not here right now. Wow. And so I was like, all right.
Where was it? You LA? No. You went to Taft, right?
Yeah, I went to Taft.
Oh, in the Valley.
Then but that was my senior year. This happened like when I was junior.
Okay.
Junior year.
Okay.
Maybe 10th grade. I was homeschooled from 7th to 12th.
Oh, wow.
Because my parents had a issue with LAUSD. Also, I was tripping in school. All right. So I got homeschooled, and it's easy to pay attention when the only girl in class is your sister. So I had a teacher put a notebook in front of me, and he was like, whatever you're thinking about, just write it down because I don't have you here right now, and I just get it out and then come back.
Okay.
And I ended up writing handwritten 120-page story that he let me write it every day.
It just came out of you.
Yeah, it was just something I was thinking about. And every day he would give me time to write it. And by the time I was finished, it was 120 pages, handwritten, blue pen, which switched to black when the blue ran out.
Okay.
And then from there, he was like, you ever thought about screenwriting? And I was like, no, not at all. And he was like, I think you should take a look into it. And then I got a teacher by the name of Bill Rubenstein that taught me how to write scripts.
Like the structure.
Yeah, like how to break down my story into script format. From there, it was like the best place for you to go is probably SC. And then so we submitted, got in.
Now you have, everyone grew up with your, loving your dad. Is it your, did
He's
you
pretty
have,
cool.
Well, that's not a personal knowledge. That was just everyone, worshiping, especially growing up LA. Did you have pressure on you to go into entertainment or not at all?
No.
So this was all you.
Bro, I was going to play for the Lakers till I was 17 years old.
I was too.
I think we all were.
I'm still hoping.
Yeah.
Been waiting for that growth spurt.
Never too late.
So then you went down that road into
Yeah, it was just a natural thing to kind of fall into. A lot of people don't know what they're good at because they think for some reason that picking a career or picking a path to choose to make money has to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
It comes your talent, whatever it is, comes so easy to you that you're probably not paying attention to it, which was what I was doing. I always, once I got accepted, my mom always kept your mom keeps the good grades that you get from school and yada, yada, yada. And she showed me that since I was in 4th grade, creative writing was the best thing I had. It was just something that I never paid attention to because it came so easy. So it took somebody pointing out that, no, dude, this is probably where you should go. And from there, getting into SC, the pressure got put on.
Yeah, of course.
It's the School of Cinematic Arts is no joke, and it's a real grind. And that on top of having a father in the entertainment industry, it's not pressure from him that's put on me. It's pressure from myself because I want more for myself. And things took a certain path where I ended up on the other side of the camera, but at my core, I still write. I have ideas, plenty of ideas that I'm trying to get off the ground. I'm in the middle of writing
Well, really quickly, how did that happen? Because a lot of people remember people are interested in this and they don't know how you just go from one thing to another. How did you go from the writing to acting?
It was I was sitting in the kitchen eating cereal, and my dad comes downstairs and he's like, "Hey, so they're taking this NWA movie serious." And in my mind, I'm like, "Good, Dad. That's dope. I'm happy for you."
Yeah.
And he was like, no. Listen, in a perfect world, I would want you to play me.
Sure.
And I'm like, ugh, okay.
And you had not acted?
Nah. I got an
wild.
AE in drama in
insane.
6th grade. But nah.
You didn't have drama class even? You went in theater?
For the curriculum in middle school, for SE, we had to take an acting course. Shout out to Michael Bofshever. But other than that, nah.
Which, by the way, is probably the best thing for kids to do because at the end of the day, it's public speaking.
Yeah, why not? And
so from that to then, what transpired?
I told my dad, I was like, all right. He was like, I'm gonna get you a coach, and I said, please give me a coach. Don't send me out there without all my tools. I want to do the work. I want to take it serious, and the director, Gary Gray, first of all, let me just say, when he first told them that he wanted me to play him, they asked him if it was a joke, which is great for the confidence.
For sure.
Then, Gary Gray saw my first audition, and he hooked me up with my sensei, Mr. Aaron Spicer, who I think still has his studio on La Cienega. And I was with him every day.
Where were you at with school at this point at SC? Were you?
I might have convinced my dad to let me leave.
You were dropping out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his words were, "You have to make it work."
Right.
And I've been making it work for about 10 years now.
Yeah, I like that. But
yeah, man, it was a huge decision because getting into SC was the biggest thing I'd ever done.
It's a massive accomplishment.
Yeah, just getting that thick book that they shove into your mailbox. And then it's big.
What year were you there?
100%.
What was the who was there? Who was the court? What was the football program? Do you remember?
09, Pete Carroll left, and some news broke out about Mr. Reginald Bush.
Oh yeah,
accepting some money, and I might have been sanctioned. As a team, not allowed to go to bowl games, lost scholarships. Wasn't really popping. It wasn't really popping.
Very unfair.
But Lakers though.
Yeah, Lakers though. 2010, baby.
I stand with Reggie, by the way, just so y'all know.
Yeah, man. Especially now.
My guy. Okay,
sure.
so that makes sense. And have you always been a fan of all the sports at SC, or?
Yeah, if it's LA and it don't, sound like Clippers or Angels, I'm all for it. It's just how I am.
And yeah, you came out with the team, the Arizona game. What was that experience like?
That was awesome. It's definitely
how'd that happen, by the way? The school asked you to come out?
Yeah, on Twitter.
Got
hit on the Twitter DM.
It's gotta feel good.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, to be acknowledged by SC and looked at a person of interest for a moment like that. It was a pretty wild night, especially because Taylor, shout out Taylor.
Really shout out Taylor.
Taylor tells me, all right, so you're going to start halfway up this hill and then you're going to meet me at the 20. I was like, all right, sound good. All right, I'll do that. And then Taylor hand me off to Jessica. And Jessica says, all right, you're going to start at the top of that hill. And then do you want to do the wide receiver or do you want to do the O-line? I say, what's the wide receiver? It's like, wide receiver is you're going to run all the way down this field. Oh, I said, no, Jessica, I'm in jeans. I'm not about to do this. So I'm about to hit this O-line, which is going to the end zone and then veering off to the right. Yeah. Easy work. So I get the microphone, pump up the Coliseum, yada, yada, yada. And then I do a countdown. They shut the lights off and then they close that curtain. And I see nothing but shiny red helmets get all behind me. Moving. And I'm like, wow, they're real close. I don't think this is going to go well. I don't have a belt on. It's a whole lot going not in my favor. So now I got the finger in the belt loop. I'm about to take off, bro. And that countdown goes out. She does the thing. I run down. I hit the end zone, right? And so I'm like, all right, it's time to veer to the right. I am surrounded.
Oh, yeah. We
surrounded by trees of men.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't, I'm about to cause an injury right now. All right. Yeah. So like, let me just chill out, turned around, gave the high five.
He did
real smooth. Yeah, bro. I was
not.
Because if I veer right now, bro, that IR about to be filled. It's so like, nah, man.
You were the first person I've ever seen, like, after the tunnel ends, like, who's actually still there. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, who?
No, I'm dapping y'all up.
I was like,
not about to run me over, make a meme out of me. Nah, bro.
I love it. And then really quickly, just curious, and I'll come back. I want to go on to Zach, but what do you think your favorite memory at USC was? And I ask this type of question for like kids out there that are like looking at stuff, you know?
Obviously, the day you get accepted in is there's nothing like it. I met my best friend Nate Howard at USC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
see, that's what it's about.
That's been my boy forever, and he will be forever.
Yeah.
He just had his second baby. I'm not trying to catch up yet, but good for you, dog. And yeah, that's my guy. Even to this day, hit him up, check on him, hit him up every birthday. Got to figure out a way to hire him for my staff. Like that's my boy.
I like that. SC is the greatest family in the world, I always say.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any sort of superstition before you do anything? An audition, anything big? You have any ritual?
A lot of times I like to listen to music before I do anything.
What's the type of music?
Yeah, there we go. That's
it's a mixture. You know, it really go on. You know what type of energy you feeling. You know, some oldies always do you right. It doesn't make you too high or too low as far as your energy.
All right.
Sporting events, you sometimes you need that.
All right.
That aggressive music.
Right. Yeah.
And every now and then some Michael Jackson, some Beatles.
All right. I like that. But no other ritual, no superstition.
No.
Right.
Even though sometimes during Laker playoffs, I do a spirit bomb during timeout.
What's a spirit
bomb?
Try
to give them my energy.
Who makes the play? Oh, no.
Hey, come on, Lakers.
Spirit bomb. I like that.
If you know.
Send them my energy because I don't need it. I'm just watching.
Hey.
Come on,
so good.
Nothing about it.
Elle, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time, figuring out what I'm going to eat, especially if I'm trying to like stay health conscious.
Oh no, trust me, I have that same issue.
What do you do?
I try and handle it. I try and enhance it.
I got the answer.
Oh, you have the answer.
Factor. Factor is the answer. With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. I know I have no idea when I'm going to have time to like prep dinner. Factor just answers it all for me. It's easy and healthy. Simple.
Love that for you.
Adjust your stride this autumn without missing a step. Choose from 35 plus weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that promote a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all ready to eat in 2 minutes. Head to factormeals.com/almostpro50 and use code almostpro50 to get 50% off. That's code almostpro50 at factormeals.com/almostpro50 to get 50% off. It's great savings. I want to talk to Zach a little bit. You guys actually, so I can't I have to, be open about the fact that I know Zack very well. He started as my intern, technically, correct?
for sure.
Moved up assistant, and now I work for him, manage him. So can't beat that. However, you O'Shea and Zack kind of have similar stories in that regard, but I kind of want to hear, Zack, your story, your background, what's going on, and how USC tied into kind of everything that you have going on.
Well, yeah, I think even right now is a perfect example of like, I know everyone talks about how being an alumni of somewhere is really like impactful when you stay connected, but like a lot of times I find it to not be so true. But with SC, it's really a thing of like, if you have the USC connection, there really is,
for sure,
at least a baseline for an introduction, for a friendship, for time to be spent together, and there really is common ground. So the fact that you can get all these people together who are it's weaved together through this. USC
I didn't even tell you were coming to. I gave you an address, and I'm like,
it's
for USC.
You said come to this thing. It's for USC, but like it's no questions asked. So I think USC takes pride in that. When you go there, even like from the first day on, you realize like it's a place where people start companies together. People want to connect people with other people.
Yeah.
It really is like networking in the most positive sense of the word. So
I think a lot of people want to know a couple things about you, Zack. They want to know exactly what you do.
yeah, I don't know why that's.
I'd love you to define
It's
that.
people,
That's going to be a big moment. Right? We're going to hear about it.
I need to know.
And I think they want to know, I think everyone always likes to know how you are doing what you're doing now from, because you had a similar thing where you had to make the choice to stop USC and go on to what you're doing. So I think we'd be curious to know about those.
Just to give like, I guess some real early background, my whole family is French, so no one went to school in America. So it's not like I had a lineage of like alma maters to pick from or anything like that. And I moved to LA when I was 13 years old, my mom and little brother.
Yep.
And it's funny because even though I lived in America my whole life, I went to like a French school in New York. French, all the classes were in French and everything. So when I moved to LA, it was kind of like me discovering what it's like to be an American teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though I was American, it was like developing my own existence, my own identity. And immediately, keep in mind, I'm in middle school, 2009, 2010. So Lakers run.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So I'm being thrown right into it. So I get straight into the Kobe world and SC world and Dodgers and the whole nine. And I took a lot of pride in being like an LA kid, because that's where I became an adult. That's where I became kind of who I am today.
You were a quarterback at Beverly High.
Yeah, we were terrible, so we should probably skip over that. But I love the game.
Yeah.
I love the game.
That's all that matters.
I love the game. Yeah,
The dogs.
Yeah, I always tell people I led the country in interceptions, and they're like, "Wow, you must have been amazing." I'm like, "No, I played quarterback."
Okay, so at USC, so you go to USC.
I kind of had an untraditional path, by the way, to get to SC.
Okay, let's hear.
I really wanted to get to USC, and keep in mind, like I said, I'm still forging like what it means to be like what's my existence? All my family's European, but I feel super American. What do I feel like being an American teenager? I want to go to a big rah school. All my friends are going to Michigan and they're leaving LA, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't have the money to go to a school out of state, even though SC's private. I'll get into how it all worked out. So I took a year to go to community college, and I went to SMC for a year. Which is a very interesting experience because community college doesn't have much of a sense of a community.
Right.
It's very transient. People are going there to actually for occupational reasons or to finish up credits or whatever, but there's not like, you don't rally around school spirit, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a very down year, interesting year where I just buckled down and would just go to school every day and go back home and just was like dreaming of like, hopefully this ends up in USC for me. Because I really loved SC. I'd visited it in high school.
Great.
I had I'd given like books to SC to the library. I was always trying to be involved like in the USC community and went to community college. Had that same day where I got that scrunched up big package, best day ever.
Yeah.
And my little brother went there actually he went to the School of Cinematic Arts, screenwriting as well. He just graduated.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I just, I went to SC and it was life-changing. And nobody knows this, but I was like, I can't go to school here. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I
know it. You hid it from me for a year, but
yeah. And I couldn't afford it, but I kind of like
He didn't want to tell me he was going to drop out.
I kind of like, no, but I stalked the financial aid people, not like actually stalked, but I figured out who the right person was to email and sent them all this stuff. I'm like, guys, this is my financial aid situation, whatever. And then after like going back and forth, I remember distinctly I was in the SMC library and I got an email back saying, yo, your financial aid. Because when I first got my financial aid, it was like, we're not really taking any money away.
Right.
We're not going to give you any funds for it. After this back and forth, like a whole month of emailing and documents from my mom and this, that, third, I remember being in the SMC library and they said, got an email, check your financial statements. It's been updated. So I'm like, what's it going to be? Open it. It's basically like your whole school's covered. There's some loans and some grants and whatever. Right. And like, I remember screaming in the library.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, shh. And I'm like going crazy. Like, like this.
I'm out of here.
I'm out of here.
I don't get it.
It was really like a movie. Like I was in the library screaming and everyone's like, shh. Like it was crazy.
Nice.
That's good. And then when you were at SC, when did you start getting into music? Because what I would define you as is musician, producer.
I think it's
DJ.
the same thing he was saying, which is like when something's such a constant in your life and it's come so naturally to you, you don't even realize that it's like you just think it's so normal.
Yeah.
Right. So you're just like, this is just it must be normal life as opposed to this might be my differentiator from other people. So my whole life always revolved around music and finding music and things like that. When I got to SC, I was always like DJing frat parties and doing things like that.
But I want people to hear this. You were on 2 global tours this year. Post Malone's. Now you're on Drake's global tour. Yeah. You're the DJ on. People
solid one
need to hear how they go from the kid, from SMC into USC and then onto what you're doing now in the matter of 6 years, 7 years. And there isn't some easy answer, of course, but it is important because it's an inspiration in a lot of ways.
I appreciate that. I think the answer is like the understanding that it does take 6 or 7 years. It's like people always talk about they see the success and they wonder where it came from, but they might not see 10 years of groundwork, right? Sure. I think for me, man, going to SC was the biggest blessing because staying home in LA was the biggest blessing because it all funny enough, it all worked out because I had to go to school during the day and I needed to find like a side hustle to make money and do whatever and end up working for John. I was meeting so many people at school. When you first start school and you start you get involved in Greek life or you start going to sports game, you're meeting so many people. And so because I had no knowledge of nightlife or hospitality business, I think I had a really kind of pure approach to it. Sure. Which is I want to rally people, especially around music. My whole thing was like, especially because you gave me the resources to do it. My whole thing was always booking talent early. Sure. And giving kids a platform. Like I was using the nightclub as a platform of like, oh, there's a kid from my frat who has a song coming out. Let's do the release party. Right. Or I would go hang out on Fairfax a lot. And this is when Fairfax was really happening, Supreme Store and 424. And it was really a moment in time.
Odd Future.
Kind of like just right after Odd Future. Yeah. And obviously we grew up watching that. It's an LA movement. Right. Shout out to our brother Taco, who you should have on the podcast for sure.
Absolutely. But how, and then so a lot of people don't know this, but you signed one of the biggest artists this year, Yeat. Yeah. How do you go about meeting him? And because you've been, how long was the process to when you met Yeat to signing him and forming your label around?
I think,
and Yeat's kind of taken over the music scene.
He's been on for a
people who know, they know.
They weren't hearing me though. Yeah, I told them.
Yeah. Just to like tie it back to SC for a second, I do think there's definitely an entrepreneurial spirit about SC, which is like take ownership in the things you want to do with like start your companies. You see kids start a lot of companies in school and start their first things while they're in school. And I think when I had dreams of, I didn't know what I want to do in music, but I was like, maybe I would always bring artists around like, I'm going to manage this person or I'm going to do this. And I was always like trying to figure out what kind of my voice would be. I was DJing already, but I was like, should I manage artists? Should I start a label? And one of my mentors, I only really have 2. It's John and another one. And he sat me down and was like, yo, Future was always like, you're always in the mix booking acts early. You're always hanging out in the studio with them. You're always finding music early. He's like, just start your own label.
For sure.
And there'll be much, you just start it and you'll learn on the go. And, just ask people around you to pick their brain. And I just started the label probably 2 years into it. I felt like I found a scene of artists that
That's
were
Field Trip Records.
Yeah, Field Trip Records.
Okay.
I feel like I found a scene of artists that were where no one else was really looking. I felt like that was my biggest advantage. Not having grown up in the label system was actually my biggest advantage because I wasn't looking at things the way they were. I wasn't looking at like data and, you know, streaming spikes, things like that. I was kind of looking at it from a cultural standpoint.
Okay.
Which is just like I see kids and energy rallying around this group of artists.
Found a niche.
And I'm like, you can bet on this because I can really feel that people are actually rallying to it. And in doing so, I just found like, I was like, okay, these artists are all this next sort of generation, but there's an outlier.
Yep.
I'm like, these kids are starting to listen to Yeat, but he doesn't feel like he fits in this. He feels like he's entirely his own world. And
that's like a difference between people who watch the game than people who are looking at the numbers, looking at the stat sheet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, but you didn't see he might have had that, but he ain't, you know.
Right.
Like,
No, like you look at,
Yeah.
it's like a Dennis Rodman thing, right? Where you look at the
Wow,
stats.
this dude's terrible.
And you're like, wait,
he's
0
all over.
point.
the
He's
court.
everywhere. He's
Yeah.
affecting
Right.
everything. And it was still like, there was no real groundswell yet. You know, he had like 8,000 followers on
Sure.
Instagram or whatever, but he came to the office with, you know, just 2-3 people and came to the office, and it was like, he was just so sure of himself,
Sure.
so sure of the music, so sure of how he wanted to be perceived. And he was like fully formed in his ideas. This is who I am. This is what I sound like. This is how I spell words, like without even having to explain it. You know, seriously.
No, literally.
Just the way he was texting, like it wasn't fake. This is just him.
Yeah.
And the way the music sounded didn't sound like anyone else. The way he dressed like anyone else. And I was like, this is the guy.
He's the guy.
This is
Love
the
it.
guy. And it was almost like, I realized like, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But if you do get it, you love it. And I was like, this is the thing with him is it's going to be a cult, and people who love it are going to love it a lot.
I love
So
it.
even when you look at like his streaming numbers, he streams as much or far more than some of the biggest superstars
Sure.
that are like mainstream household names. And the way he does it isn't by having 70 million people listen to a song one time. It's by having 15, 20 million people listen to a song 30 times in a row.
Right.
Like he has the most listens per listener. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like people that are
I like
listen to
it.
his music, they're super cult. And that's how I started becoming. So I just, we started working together. He ended up signing a different deal, but he's like, let's make our moves. I'm going to get out of this deal. I'll sign with you. And the whole time I was sort of guiding him along when he was just, and he's very self-sufficient. So he was making the best music, shooting videos, feeding it, but he was like coming to me for work ideas. And then when he was out of his deal, I signed him. That's when we took that next big leap.
Yeah.
Put out the album on the label. That album debuted top 10 on Billboard. And that was kind of like the next big step. And then he just takes such big jumps with his creativity and his music. So every time we put out a new album, it's like that next step. So it's just continuing to elevate it.
I love it.
So you posted a picture recently, you know, just kind of showing the growth you've had in your career and everything. And you had a crazy lineup of guests who were on the, you know, I've seen the picture of Tom Brady. I mean, I've seen almost everybody. So who's your favorite guest you thought you had on the entire tour, top 5, if that?
Cool thing about the tour is like, it really was like when Drake asked me to come on tour, he sent me a voice note and it was just kind of like, we got to take, which is true to him as an artist, which is like, let's take real life. Like same way he takes his real life and pours it into the music, he'll rap about restaurants that he goes to or things like that. And everyone's singing it, even though they might not know the
I
place.
have no idea.
Yeah, but it's because he really pours his real life into the music.
Yep.
And so with the tour is the same thing where he's like, we got to take everything we've been doing these last couple of years, the music we play at the parties, the people we have around us, and we got to put that on display. And people got to come to the show and feel like they're a part of our lives and we're a part of theirs. And there's a real mutual exchange there. So I think even though these shows are 20,000 people, they're somehow really intimate.
Yep.
It's almost like Drake's hosting a party.
Yeah.
I think everyone leaves the show feeling like they got a piece of him and they interacted with him. And so instead of having guest performers come out, there wasn't any guest performers. It was all guest appearances in the DJ booth because that was like how it was. It's like they're part of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was DJing, I'm fortunate enough that when I go to these cities, I either know artists from there or know people from that city, whether it be athletes or personalities or whatever. I'm like, I feel like I want to put this on display.
Yeah.
You know, I have this Jumbotron and the DJ set where I can rally the music for the city. I can bring some characters around and it feels like, you know, we're all in it together. And then obviously Drake's bringing out the biggest superstars in the world for his set, and they get to see it from the DJ booth perspective, which is like such a fascinating way to watch the show. So obviously Brady was epic, and he's asking me all kinds of questions. He's like, I mean, you know, it's Tom Brady. He definitely has an aura about him. He's a beast, and he's so curious. Oh, how does this production work? Are the lights timed? Like he asks very poignant questions.
Maybe we have him DJ with you.
Yeah, that's the plan.
like Will Ferrell and Fat Row.
That was sick by the way.
Really?
That was nasty.
That was sick. I like that.
That was sick.
You know, Khaled is a character.
Oh man, he had the billboard.
Man, he's amazing. It's like, it's so funny because we're in an era of where kids want to be too cool and not post things and not promote themselves, not promote their music. And then Khaled's on the exact opposite end of that spectrum where he's this marketing machine.
Yeah.
And just seeing how he functions at close range.
Close range. It's a door.
Someone has the iPhone angle.
Yeah.
Someone has the camera. Someone has another camera rolling. Like there's constantly, and he's just feeding you. If you look at his Instagram, I think he has like 80,000 posts. So it's like, that's why he's always a constant in our mind. He's always every day capitalizing on moments, and
it's true.
Another post.
Yeah, so just seeing that up close, I was like, "Whoa, I'm not doing enough."
We got to double it,
guys. At least
I have one. Oh, really quickly, and then I have one final question for both of you. But I think I would fair to say your first love is basketball.
Yes, for sure.
Overall. So you are DJing and hosting the Midnight Madness.
That's insane.
USC basketball. First time in I don't know how many years back.
This is the first time they're bringing Midnight Madness back.
Yeah.
Time is
wow.
SC hasn't done it in 5 years,
No.
6 years, maybe. So,
That's epic.
What are you going to bring to the table? What are we going to do?
Now you say it like that. I don't know how much I'm bringing to the table.
I'll be there too, hosting it.
There we go.
That's the 19th.
Yeah. Next week. I just I love it. It's definitely new sort of energy around SC basketball.
Yeah.
It's obviously a school that has historically, like obviously DeMar and Swaggy P and legendary basketball players, but has traditionally been a football school.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, rallying around this team and creating energy, especially
all of it
these
goes
in-person
together.
events.
Yeah.
I think I'm just happy to be a part of it. Contribute some music, hopefully some good energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So question for both of you. So start with you, Zach. What advice would you give yourself to your younger self? So what would you tell yourself younger? Man,
I know what you're trying to say.
That was great.
that was rough.
He got it though.
Solid land.
I know what
I
you're trying
really
to
did
say.
it, you know?
I know what you're trying to
What'd
say.
I say?
His own lingo.
I think when you're young, especially in LA and especially in entertainment, you see people who have different levels of success at different ages.
Sure.
And you start comparing yourself to people who are your age.
Yeah.
And you see people that are like pop stars or their acting career is taken off or whatever it is, and they're your same age. And so you start comparing yourself to people as opposed to realizing like, just take it one day at a time. And like you said, you know, get to do these amazing things, but 7-8 years in.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more self-aware now than in realizing like it takes time to lay these foundational pieces down. So I think don't feel like you have to rush and be like, at 21, I got to be a millionaire. At 22, I got to do that. It's just seriously, just
Good
keep
advice.
laying the bricks down. Then you look just one step in front of the other, and then you'll look back and realize how many steps you've gone. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Just to piggyback off that real quick, a quote that I had learned was, you know, if you want to focus on yourself, it's never going to be anything else but focusing on yourself before anything can happen. And winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So like,
I like
Put on
that.
a
you
t-shirt.
gotta gotta focus on what you got in front of you, because that's the only thing that's going to make it work. I don't care what they got.
Yeah.
I have to focus on winning. So that's just to piggyback on what you were
love
saying.
that.
But
It's a much more concise version, much more efficient, much more.
I mean, that's
on the
basically what he
nose.
said. You know what I mean?
But if I could, you know, tell my younger self, and it's a message to anybody, any kid that's out there trying to, you know, make it happen. A lot of times, you had said earlier, this they don't know about the 6-7 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so real. We live in such a Insta type life now that everything that you see others posting and things like that, that's the highlight.
Yeah, we see the highlights, we see the clips.
They don't record the turnovers. They don't record practices. They don't show time in the gym or anything, you know, to use that analogy and use it for anything that you got going. So it's going to take time. Food is better out the oven than it is in the microwave. You got to let that slow cook happen.
This guy's full of idioms.
He's on fire right now.
Guys, wait for this one. And the most important thing, especially us in the college world, don't let school get in the way of your education. Can you dig it? Wow. What happens is we get so caught up in the BS that is surrounded with school, whether it's people messing with us, whether it's a professor you don't like or whatever. Don't let all the BS that school brings get in the way of you getting your mind right. Wow. And SC is so cool because not only the history and the fact that you get to go to this luxurious school and all that, but it's putting a bunch of people that got the same idea as you in the same room. Don't let that go to waste. Connect with your classmates, your fellow people in your major, because you can start a company while you at school.
100%.
And it's all people with the same idea, same goal, one band, one sound. So like, make it happen.
I really
Don't let
love
school
this.
get in the way of your education.
Should we go on a podcast tour together?
I'm down.
I mean,
I'm on strike. I ain't doing nothing.
I mean, incredible. Well, thank you guys. I think we're going to take a break and be back with Tahj and Kyron. So thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Terz.
man.
Thank you, guys.
When it comes to hiring for my business, I don't even know where to start. It's daunting. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites searching for candidates with the right skills, Indeed's a powerful hiring platform that can help you do it all. Indeed streamlines hiring with powerful tools that find you matched candidates. One of the things I love about Indeed is that it makes hiring all in one place so easy. Something that's really cool about Indeed is that candidates you invite to apply are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in search, according to US Indeed data. Start hiring now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/almostpro. Offer good for a limited time. Claim your $75 credit now at Indeed.com/almostpro. Just go to Indeed.com/almostpro and support the show by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/almostpro. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
And we're back, Almost Pro via Networks. I have my new co-host now, Mr. O'Shea.
I got hired.
And he got hired after one sitting of 3 good quotes in a row, and he's making it shake like Shaq, as we would say.
Solid.
You know, I doubled it. And speaking of doubling, I got my 2 guys here. We got Tahj, Chef Tahj, in the building. And we got Mr. Viral, man. We got Kyron Hudson. I mean, the man with the Spider-Man hands. He's in the building too. So let's get started. Start with Mr. O'Shea and discuss the Arizona game.
Yeah,
you know, we talked about it earlier. You know, about the tunnel and all that in the back of chips. But let's talk about the actual game itself and the emotions that you were going through. Let's just say the past. Let's say 5 minutes of the game.
Oh well, in the beginning. I was furious. It wasn't really going well. I brought my little brother. He looking at me like we're gonna be all right. We just gotta stay the course. But I'm trying to watch the game, and they got me in full celebrity mode. Shaking hands, kissing babies, and I'm trying to like watch the game. Like I'm like really trying to be in it right now.
Tight.
And we start creeping back in, and I hit up Taylor and I was like, Taylor, we want to go back down to the field. Like it's getting cracking right now. Like they got to have my energy right now. And, we eventually made it down and the homie Wale was there. And I remember looking at him about halfway through the 4th and saying, bro, I can't do overtime. My feet hurt. All right. I thought I was cool. I was wearing brand new Off-Whites. And so my dogs was like they was, killing me, all right? Dogs, so I'm over there trying to shift feet, just trying to just watch the game. And he looked at me, he goes, they not going to overtime. I said, thanks, Wale.
I appreciate you.
That the field goal debacle, I look at him, he gone. Where are you at, bro?
gonna be
You
with me?
said no, he gone. It's just me and my brother in the corner of the end zone, just praying, screaming at people, going down. And I was at that game for 5 hours. I had no plans for this. The car that SC provided for me, he's off the clock at midnight. 11:40. I'm like, where are you? So it was an eventful night, but it's the best part about it was getting the dub. My agent went to Arizona, so I'm on the phone giving him the business.
Of course. Stand on business.
One
man army versus 50.
Wildcat, the most generic mascot in college. There, fight him.
So to stick on that, game, let's go with the players, all of us, obviously our main thing is longer we go, better we get, and that game was for sure a big test of that, starting, I believe, was 0-17, so what's like the mindset we think, for people, watching at home that we think about, per quarter and being down like that and being able to come back and, because they said it, only 4% of teams come back.
4%.
Yeah.
4% comes back and win a game like that. So I was talking about that from both y'all sides.
Just from my side, I'll say like it was just no doubt. I feel like from the team, even when we were down, like just spirits was still high, and it was like, we know what we got to do, and just take it one play at a time. And I feel like that's what we did. Like being able to finish the way we did, I'm super proud of our team. For sure.
100%, bro.
I think just the preparation throughout the whole season, going from preseason, the weight room, the hard workouts, fall camp. I think those kind of prepared us for adversity that we went through on during that game. And so, like, even going up the tunnel during halftime, like, we didn't even feel like we were losing.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, like, we were ready. Like, we went in the locker room, we did what we said we needed to do, went out, and just it went from there. Like, there wasn't no stopping. Just like Tahj said, no doubt. So I think that's something that we definitely had.
Well, speaking of process, I want to bring up, you mentioned fall camp. I know how that was for me. How was that for you guys especially? But start with you, getting MVP, if you guys don't know, of fall camp. To me personally, was no surprise. I mean, I called him Spider-Man earlier. I mean, every ball in the air, he was coming down with it. It was one hand, two hand, whatever it was. What was your mindset going into fall camp? And obviously what the hour was like.
Yeah. I don't know, just having the opportunity to go out there with my brothers, like the people we have in this locker room, like everyone's so here.
Yeah.
And so just going out there, having fun. I mean, that's literally all I went every single day, having fun. Trusting the process, trusting the coaches, trusting my brother right next to me that we're gonna do our job and just shoot. That's how the season's going so far. So
100%, man. And off to you, Tahj.
It was a tough one. It made me grow a lot though. First 2 days, I ended up getting injured, early on. So majority of fall camp I was down. So it really made me grow up in my cerebral capacity. Just
what a word.
That's USC.
That's USC. That's a USC. That's a smart guy. I mean, keep going. I'm gonna double it.
But just made me grow up a lot. Be there for my teammates even more so. It made me notice a lot. Just not about myself, but just about this team and things we good at and things that we can get better on. And just when I was able to come back, just from having that experience, it made me just be able to play faster. It made me be able to help other guys out because I seen some, they might not have seen because you wouldn't be able to see it because you playing with them, So just having that new perspective, it made me respect the game a lot more and appreciate everything even more so.
E+R, man.
Come on now.
It's just that simple. While we're on Tahj, you guys don't know, he's actually a chef. On the food topic,
like
so we'll get to the food topic. Chef Tahj, Chef Macaroni to some. Bro, you want to tell the story?
Bro, can we tell that story?
Come on, bro. We need context.
He is Chef Macaroni.
All right.
Okay, so
Wow.
we have to practice. Some people got signs for us. They like, we got y'all cookies. And they like,
Shut
yeah,
up,
that's
Fat
Chef Tahj right there. She was like, Chef Macaroni. Pointing at L. Bud.
Macaroni.
I'm like,
Not even boy on the D.
You know,
Boy, our
it was just
book
so
is
random.
crazy. Like,
It was just so random.
So we're like, one thing about Tahj, he'll catch the ball, like no question about it. Ball's there, like he come down with it. But after he gets the ball, he loves taking the long way. It was the Colorado game. It was another game. So Caleb was like, yeah, simple ball, come in the pocket. I'm like, all right, boom, like plays, He goes around this way and comes around back. But then Marshawn comes and came through a block out of nowhere. Like, just go straight.
El, do you get frustrated when you're looking to buy concert tickets or anything like that?
I get so frustrated, John. I mean, it's outlandish.
How come though?
It's just I can't find a place that's just so, just more easy and efficient to get tickets.
Yeah, you don't know where your seats are going to be. It's a confusing process.
Exactly.
You know the answer?
Tell me.
Game time. Game time wins. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. The Game Time app is easy to sign up, and I was able to find upcoming events near me and know I was getting the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after it starts, which is pretty rare. Like, no one does that.
I haven't heard of it before.
I mean, it's crazy. It's the place to find last-minute seats. And with Zone Deals, you pick the section and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ALMOSTPRO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ALMOSTPRO, that's ALMOSTPRO, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I love sports more than anyone. However, you know what really adds to my sports love? PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks adds a ton of excitement to the sports viewing experience. Watch your progress update in real time, win up to 25 times your entry amount, and cash out your winnings with quick scoring, settling, and withdrawals. I know for me, testing my skills on PrizePicks this football season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. PrizePicks offers projections on any sports that you watch. This includes NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, MMA, boxing, and many more. Go to prizepicks.com/almostpro and use code ALMOSTPRO for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, visit prizepicks.com/almostpro and use code ALMOSTPRO for a first deposit match up to $100. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Let's go back to Kyron, man. I'll probably say one of my favorite plays from, this year was honestly versus Arizona because it was a scramble situation. And I made an example. John didn't think it made sense, but it made sense to me.
That's all that matters.
That's what I'm saying. It matters. I'm gonna give it the same to y'all. I said as a QB, I said you have 2 options. It's like making eggs. We're gonna add the basil, your egg whites or an omelet. Make it all fancy, season, or you just gonna scramble some eggs and scramble and make something happen. So the play I'm talking about, it's a scramble. They showed it in good football, like I talked from last episode, circling the green. First play, he's not open. He just starts moving. Comes back to the ball. You literally catch the ball, fall forward, but it's a touchdown because it was before the line. So, what was your mindset going through that? After your first rep wasn't,
So on that play, I'm a backside read for Caleb, just in case anything. First read doesn't go as planned. I see him. He starts scrambling to the right. So once you see Caleb start scrambling, hey, better find that spot. So that's exactly what I did. I tried to get busy. Saw I was too busy over there, cut back. Me and Caleb were on the same page. He threw a dime, caught it. Rest is history.
That's a score though. That's a scramble with cheese.
Cheese. Scramble with some cheese.
Bro. That's a win.
I'll tell you what, I'm adding Lowry's too. Me personally.
Lowry's?
I'm adding Lowry's.
Lowry's blacked up.
I'm a little jealous, but it's cool.
No, Lowry's. I put Lowry's on anything. I don't know anybody that held my back more.
Okay. I'm like, we on the same page on that. But yeah, man, that was my question, man, for that, man. And then Tahj, talked about your favorite play of the year for you think, personally?
I'll say the Colorado one. Similar situation where it's a scramble drill. Not initially getting the ball, like coming out your break, at the beginning of the play.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing them scramble, just finding that void, where nobody at. Just catching it, making a catch more difficult than it was supposed to be.
Yeah, see, so with that catch, my fault, but with that catch, like most receivers, if they catch it, they falling. But what Tahj is good at, he's good on staying on his feet. So if you really watch that play, watch him the way he caught that, like it was definitely
catch
hard.
it. I'm talking about I'm catch my balance. I look around, I see straight. I can go. I see straight. But then I see a whole bunch of grass over here. And I'm like, I'm gonna go that way.
Gotta burn that.
I'm gonna go that way.
Good.
And then I take that angle and just go. I'm running. I see who chasing me. If you know, you go wide.
Yeah.
I see who chasing me. I'm like, I pull up on a little bit. He dive. Look,
then you start hitting up.
I look over. I see T.O. over there. I'm like,
That's funny.
It was cool. That was a cool moment, most definitely.
100%.
Thank y'all for beating Colorado too, because Deion Sanders Jr. be hitting me up, man, and I'll be like, man, I can't lose to him. And I'm real supportive of my people.
Yeah.
But boy, when it started to hit that calendar, I hit him. I was like, listen, man, I can't rock with y'all this week.
Tight.
All right, y'all close to home right now.
Yeah, I look too close to home.
And he had his words to say. All Deion's kids got their words to say. And after the game, I hit him like, hey man, you want to talk about it? You want to talk about it? Or are you just going to tell me GG's, man? What's good? Good game, right?
Yeah.
He didn't hit me for a couple hours, but he man of his word. Shout out to Deion
Came
Jr.
back around. So for this game, we just had Notre Dame. Weather report was saying it's supposed to rain, so Coach Lincoln, he tried to prepare as best he can for, offense and defense. And there's a viral clip going around, seen on House of Highlights, millions of views. If you can just talk to me, Tahj and Kyron, about how that went about, if it made, went in practice.
I got you. Just like being a returner, expecting wet conditions, cold conditions, so we decided to, have water play a factor into it. Fred out there
too much fun with that one.
spraying the water, but that's real though. You make the situation worse than it's actually gonna be. That way, when it's calm, you be prepared for it. So that's just kind of the thought process that went into that. Just having guys ready for them moments like that. So.
Side note, I feel like we've been going viral a lot on different clips from our different games. I think Tahj is in it.
Oh no!
I think he is.
The punt return.
We're gonna bring up. ST because I wasn't able to. I didn't have the chance to bring it up last.
Everywhere for real.
I couldn't bring it up last episode, but it works now. I'm not sure if you've seen it. You were there. I hope you know what I'm talking about.
I'm cool. I'm cool off this.
Okay, so you want to get the play-by-play, Tahj, because I think you have the best point of view of anybody here on that play, especially.
So man, it's punt. You go down, you make coverage. So the ball lands on punt, and the guy back there, the returner, he wants to play around, act like he was gonna get the ball. So we decide we just gonna grab him. But it's crazy. None of us said anything. It was just simultaneously we grabbed them. We was all thinking the same thing.
Chemistry.
You gonna do it together.
Touch this ball.
We grabbed them. We didn't quite get it. But anyway, it was funny. After the game, I'm sitting on my FYP. I'm like, bro, this is everywhere.
Everywhere. All types of
people looking up the rule book.
Yeah.
Wait, can they do that?
People on page 18. It was
for real.
Yeah, because I was thinking did someone make a call, and I was like, we got him.
We were like, code red, like, so, and you know what? Y'all just was like, Spider-Man me, I was like, that's just, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
It was just like that. Like we was jumping each other.
For real.
That was someone
beat.
put that sound on there.
They're like, it's supposed to jump on live television.
So like, fight back.
They was saying on business, clearly. You know, shout out Drewski. But yeah, big game coming up. You know, got to bounce back from Notre Dame. As you guys know from last episode, our slogan is E plus R equals O. Minus L, of course, but, you know, being a team player, E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome.
I was told there'd be no math.
See? See, math for me got a little too much. I started seeing less numbers and more, you know, stuff in the alphabet.
Okay.
That's where I started kind of getting a little confused on what we were doing.
That's a
around
disorder.
these parts. Yeah. But yeah, you know, we got a big game coming up for Utah. You know, obviously, big rivalry game, you know, to bounce back from our past game. Any mindset thing is carrying over, obviously, from our last year experiences going into, you know, this, you know, big home game. For us.
Definitely one of the ones where, you know, it just feel different going into this one, like, especially coming off a loss. Our first one of the season, first one all together. And it's just, we have to respect that this is a new team that we have. Mm-hmm. This ain't the team that we got last year. And we just gotta come together even more so, you know. Got a big challenge ahead of us. And just keep going. We know what we got to do, and it's all up to us. Like, that's what it come down to. Like, just even looking at the tape, just mistakes we made that cost us. If we want to be who we say we want to be, we got to minimize them.
100%. I know Coach Lincoln and Coach Grinch talks about, you know, us beating ourselves in certain situations. You know, you can't compete against a whole team of grown men, and then us, you know, we're fighting ourselves too. It don't make sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that makes total sense in that regard. And then you have Kyron.
Man, I'm just excited for another opportunity, really.
100%.
This was definitely a tough loss, but it's definitely a learning experience for all of us. Just like Tahj said, this is gonna bring us closer together even more. And so yeah, I'm just excited for this game. This team coming up this week. Definitely a team that had theirs last year. So definitely excited for this week, and I know we're as a whole ready to put on a show for the Collie.
I know personally, I hate Utah. I hate them. I hate the guts. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want no success for that team whatsoever. But I know it's as a fan and as one of the people that's, you know, out there on Twitter giving people the business. I might have been a little quiet after yesterday. But it's important that when y'all get down and when y'all are facing adversity, that y'all stay together like I see here, you know, keeping the spirits up. And I know the last segment I gave out some quotes. I might got another one.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
So,
I need it.
I'm gonna trademark it though, so be ready.
All right, for sure. It's recorded. Just remember that though I cannot control the direction of the wind, I can always adjust my sails to reach my destination. And one does not sail the seas simply by staring at the water. So you got to go out there and get it. Can you dig it?
I can
I'm
dig
gonna
it.
write that down. When we get done.
That's like a Avatar quote with Andy. Talking about Abba, yip. You know, say that and then just in the Fire Nation attack. But yeah, that's the episode, guys. Almost Pro, Mr. O'Shea, my new co-host for the time being.
Yeah.
Tahj Washington, Chef Macaroni, in the building. You know,
That's your name.
me, L Bugs, Chef Macaroni.
No.
I heard the story.
and my dog Kyron Hudson. I mean, man with the plan. I'm L Bugs. Almost Pro, Yeat Networks. And shout out Mr. John, man, for just holding it down for us. You know, making this happen, making it possible, and just being the guys here. And, you know, Zack Bia coming by and kind of sharing his story, because people, they don't really know. I mean, he's mysterious, but he's that guy, you know, being a USC alum and just kind of putting on for the city. So shout out to them for coming on the episode. And we're signing off. Almost Pro. It's viral.